Hey, Travis here at Books, Builds, and More, and today I'm going to be doing the Travel the World book tag. I was tagged by Mike from Bibliophile Reads, and the tag was created by Cliff Stark Gems. Two very great channels. The links to their channels are below in the description box, so please go check them out. There are 10 prompts to this tag, the 10th one being a bonus prompt, which I'm very excited about. And at the end, you tag others. So the tag others isn't an actual prompt on this. So it's kind of the 11th unspoken, unwritten prompt. But regardless, let's get started. Prompt number 1, UK and Ireland, known for history, culture, arts, and literature. Both places I've been. Actually, in the UK, I haven't been outside of London, but still, it counts. Anyway, the prompt for this one is, talk about an older book or classic that you have read and loved. I wasn't sure how I would feel about this one when I read it, and I just read it last year for a book club requirement, and that's Call of the Wild by Jack London. I really enjoyed this story. It took me by surprise. I went into this with a certain expectation. It turned out to be not what I expected, but the story was very powerful. It was so good. Prompt number 2, Australia. Beautiful country with wildlife found nowhere else on Earth. And talk about a book that has an original and unique premise. This one took a little bit of thought, but then I didn't have to look very far. And I'm going to go with Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. And the premise behind this is about this kind of, he's a likable lawyer, but unlikable by the characters in the book. Well, he passes away and enters the veil between life and death. And there's this whole other life inside the veil. And he's basically having to learn life lessons while dead. He dies. What more can you learn? Well, it turns out that in this world, you can, repent and pull penance, and learn things in the veil between life and death. So I thought it was a very unique premise. The ending was extremely satisfactory. It was just an overall great story. T.J. Klune is one of my favorite authors because he just does friendships and special family formations very well. And he's got a great sense of humor. Number 3, New Zealand, a land of breathtaking beauty. Talk about a book, fiction or nonfiction, where the setting, real or imagined, is so stunning that you want to live there. This one was kind of a no-brainer. Thought I was going to say Harry Potter? No, I'm beyond that. This one, it kind of took me by surprise, but come on. It's The Library from Mark Lawrence's Library Trilogy, starting with book 1 here, The Book That Wouldn't Burn, but I also have the other 2, and I read this series. It's so good. But this library is so colossal. It's like an ethereal place, this library. And there are people that actually, and colonies that actually live inside this library. And come on, any book lover, who wouldn't want the chance to live in a huge world-sized library? And just the descriptions of some of the places that this library can lead to, because there are portals to other worlds within this library. So it'd be really fun to go exploring. And of course, just all the books to read. Prompt number 4, France, Paris, City of Love. Talk about a book that you enjoyed where a love story is either central to the plot or just present in the story. Okay, I'm not a romance reader, so this was a little difficult to try to choose from, even though a lot of, different genres feature love stories no matter what. Even Stephen King has the romance going on here and there. But I'm going to go with this one. It's a bit different, but I'm going to say Isaac and Macy from Orchard of Skeletons by Eli Wilde. Now, this story is set in a dystopian, and I mean a severely dystopian Earth that's set several hundred years in the future, to where humanity is almost near extinct, and to the point to where human beings are so far set back that they're basically, they don't name themselves. They have no names. Like Macy actually gives Isaac his name in this book. And it's just such a weird, this was an incredibly powerful book. This was a 5-star read for me. But the way their relationship develops in this book is quite organic, but also very primal. And that's what intrigued me about their relationship and their growing romance in this book. So I'm going to have to go with this one because it was just such a unique way for a romance to develop. Prompt number 5, Germany, Oktoberfest, the world's largest beer festival. Name and talk about a book where wild celebrations and crazy parties are part of the storyline. This one was the most difficult, probably, but I did some thinking, and I'm going to go with this one. The Mask of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, come on. How much wilder or crazier of a party can you get than some very paranoid and very selfish prince holding a masquerade ball, which is a majority of what the story is focused around in the setting, because there's a plague that is, terrorizing and devastating the entire globe at this point, or at least all of Europe. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that one. It was just okay. So that's not really a book, more of a short story. I do actually have that in this edition, this Barnes and Noble collector edition of classic horror stories. Edgar Allan Poe is like the first author. I guess he has 3 stories, and Mask of the Red Death is one of the ones in this book. So, but I wanted to just show the picture anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Prompt number 6, Mexico, tourism and beaches. Name and talk about a book set on the coast or an island. This one struck me right off the bat simply because of the word island, and I'm going to have to go with The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. So yeah, the setting was entirely on an island, this mysterious, I don't know if it's uncharted or not. I can't remember that part of the story, but like no one goes there because I think they realize that certain diabolical experiments are being performed on this island. If you know, you know. I don't want to spoil the book, but this is one of the earliest, if not the earliest, stories of biological engineering. I mean, we've got Jurassic Park. That's actually set on an island. I could have used that, but I wanted to go with this one. Prompt number 7, Italy, cuisine, fine food and wine. Talk about a book, fiction or nonfiction, where food and or drink is central to the plot. I'm going with another Edgar Allan Poe here, another short story, not necessarily a book, and I'm going with The Cask of Amontillado. And I think the Amontillado itself, it's kind of like a sherry, a type of sherry, and that the main antagonist, it turns out, Montresor, uses to lure Fortunato to his doom. So the Amontillado is a device that is crucial to the plot of the story. So I'm going to go with that one. Prompt number 8, Austria, alpine landscapes, ski, snowboard. Talk about a book where a sport or contest, real or imagined, is a central focus of the story. This was an absolutely no-brainer whatsoever, and that is The Long Walk by Stephen King. I mean, it's basically just a walking contest where 100 boys, teenage boys, enter this contest where all you do is walk, and you can't fall below 4.5 miles per hour, or you get your ticket. And again, if you know, you know. I think a lot of people at this point know this story, but yeah, the entire story is focused on the rules of this contest, and the entire thing, once the long walk actually begins in the book, which doesn't take long after the start of the story to take off, then it's all about this contest all the way to the end of the story, and it's a phenomenal story. It's so great. Check it out. Prompt number 9, South Africa, The Rainbow Nation. Talk about a book from a diverse author you have enjoyed, be it race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, anything. Okay, this one I'm going to use The Rainbow Nation and the word diverse for a couple of reasons here. I'm going to go with Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. S.A. Cosby is an African-American author. He's so awesome. He's becoming one of my favorite authors, but I've only read 2 books by him, this one and All the Sinners Bleed. But this one I'm going to use for this answer because also part of the plot of this book revolves around these 2 ex-cons, both of whom have difficulty coming to terms with the fact that each of their sons were gay and they were married to each other. They were a young gay married couple. However, they were murdered, and the story then becomes this tale of revenge again about these 2 fathers while they're coming to terms with who their sons are and how they felt about their sons, and you know, how much they actually truly love their sons while taking revenge on the people who murdered their kids. So I'm going to go with this one. And the last prompt, prompt number 10, is a bonus prompt. And it asks you, where do you live? What country, state? Choose and talk about a book, fiction or nonfiction, that reflects the culture, history, or anything else of your home. Okay, so I live in the state of Tennessee in the United States of America, and I'm going to go with this one book. I don't really do local history or educational books about, you know, local culture or history or anything like that. I kind of like to learn about where I live through just, you know, in person, where I can go to different landmarks and just kind of take it in myself instead of reading about it. However, I have read one book by an author I actually do know. I met him when I was in college. He was a bit older at the time, and he worked in the music library where I worked as part of a work scholarship program that I was on at the time. And he wrote a book based on a lot of folklore and legends here in East Tennessee. And it's a book called Haints, Witches, and Boogers, Tales of Upper East Tennessee. And yeah, it was a pretty okay little book. Now, he has written quite a few books like this locally that you can still pick up, and you can even find him on Goodreads. But yeah, it was a pretty okay little book, but that's the only book based on locale, you know, my location, that I've ever read. And I'm going to tag the following 3 channels: Albert the Conjugator, Michael's Backlog, and the Book Buds. Now, anybody, of course, if you're watching this, consider yourself tagged. If I didn't tag you, consider yourself tagged. And, you know, you have the option of whether or not to do this tag. So anybody and everybody is welcome to do this tag. Anyway, I hope this was enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next video, have a good one.